Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. It's a Canadian game. Brought to you by Molson Canadian.
It's February 13th, 1993, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are preparing to host their Norris Division rivals from Minnesota. This is Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. The North Stars are led by Mike Modano, Ulf Dolan, and Russ Courtnall. The Maple Leafs counter with Dave Andreychuk, Wendell Clark, and Nicky Borashevsky. Hello once again, everyone. I'm Joe Bowen, and welcome to another edition of Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics here on Leafs TV as we go back to February of 1993. The Leafs have enjoyed a resurgence during the 1992-93 campaign as Pat Burns has led his team to 58 points after 55 games, although the Leafs are still in fourth place in the Norris Division, behind first place Chicago, who has 72 points, Detroit with 67, and Minnesota with 66. But the team is on a roll and beginning to put all of the pieces together. A recent trade has netted Dave Andreychuk from Buffalo for Grant Fuhrer on the 2nd of February this year. The policemen of the puck precincts tonight are Darcy Wakaluk of the North Stars and rookie goaltender Felix Potvin taking over for the traded Grant Fuhrer in the Leaf goal. Because it's February 13th, 1993, the Leafs and North Stars, you're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. The North Stars would sport 4 30-goal scorers this season in Mike Modano, Dave Gagne, Ulf Dolan, and Russ Courtnall, the former Leaf. Dave Andreychuk would finish off a 50-goal season in Toronto with 25 goals in 31 Leaf games this year. Nicky Borashevsky would add 34, and Mike Kruzhelnicki would have 19. Doug Gilmour was always too small. The problem was no one could convince him of that. After starring for the Memorial Cup champion Cornwall Royals, the Kingston native was selected 134th overall by the St. Louis Blues. 5 excellent seasons in St. Louis, followed by 4 more in Calgary, including the Stanley Cup winning team of 1989, in which he had 22 points in 22 playoff games. Cliff Fletcher pulled the trigger on the big deal in January of 1992, and the love affair between Gilmour and the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto was officially on. 6 marvelous seasons in this city, followed with stops in New Jersey, Chicago, Buffalo, and Montreal, before the Leafs reacquired Gilmour at the trade deadline in 2003. And Dougie joins us here tonight to go back to a special night, February 13th, 1993. And this team has had a number of changes, notwithstanding almost, a year and a month earlier, the trade brings you to Toronto. But in the off-season, Tom Watt is replaced by Pat Burns.
And very respectable choice there. A big fan of Pat's, always has been, even though he said Daryl Gilmour. The first day he got it, we got that guy Daryl Gilmour on the team.
It's all right, he didn't even know who Rocket Reed and some of the other guys, and Bill Berg,
Bill Berg.
Going to get driven over on a bus by him or something.
I wouldn't know if I hit him with my car.
That's right.
But Burnsy was a great character, and obviously he demanded work ethic, and that's what made our hockey club better. Day in, day out. Whether it's practice, we were all committed, we all had a lot of fun, and we almost got to the final step.
Now, in this month, in February, Cliff Fletcher goes in and talks to Pat Burns and asks him one question. Do you think Felix Potvin is capable of playing goal at this point? Now, he's down in the minors and has had a great year the year before as the Baby Leafs went to the Calder Cup final. But the answer is an emphatic yes, and so a key part is dealt to Buffalo for some guy named Andreychuk.
Well, what a trade that was, him and Darren Pupa. Chucky is just a bona fide goal scorer in this league, and to this day he's still playing. And we had a lot of chemistry together. As Felix went, I'll tell you what, we all knew what he could do. When Rick Wamsley went down with an injury, Felix came up and backed up Grant, and when he stepped in there, we knew he could do it, and obviously Pat had a lot of confidence in him, and Felix just blossomed after that. We
talked about Grant Fuhrer and his personality of being laid back and quiet, and if he had to learn from the master's hand, Felix Potvin was very much like that. You didn't hear much out of him at all.
No, I sat, Felix had in the Maple Leaf Gardens a little corner right before you go into the showers, and I was right beside him with a walk space between us, but he would just sit there and smile and laugh and get ready for games. He knew what games were in front of him, and he always told me too. He goes, you're talking about his brother and his family and how tough they were back in Montreal and stuff, and I didn't really pay much attention to him until we saw him fight one night against Ron Hextall, and he did a pretty good job. So
Yes,
I left him alone after that.
I remember that night, and when Hextall came roaring down the ice, everybody at least associated with the Leafs went, "Oh my God, he's going to get killed." And of course, the tables got turned fairly quickly.
Really quick, and Felix opened him up with a good right hand, and he just stood back and threw bombs, and it was we were on the bench going, "Are you kidding me?" So,
maybe we've got him playing the wrong position.
I think so.
He should be playing on your left wing.
He should be playing defense for a hockey club.
Dave Andrechuk drove Felix Potvin and every goaltender that has played for him probably nuts, because he knew where his office was, and each day at practice, I can recall, he finished with 15, 20 minutes of standing there doing nothing but tipping pucks.
And I think you got to learn he learned from guys previously, and the kids that do watch the programs, and you watch a guy like Dave Andrechuk in practice. I try to explain to kids that are coming in, you don't have to go over the glove all the time. Dave Andrechuk goes in and shoots hard on the ice, so it's going to go underneath the stick, but if he makes a save, the rebound comes back to him. He's got great hands. He puts it back in. You can go over these games. You'll watch Dave Andrechuk, and a lot of his goals are on the ice, and a lot of them are rebounds. So, again, Andy he was a pleasure to play with, and I know he had the 50 goals, and I believe he had 99 points that year. That we're trying to get him the 100-point plateau, but just a great guy and a great player and a great teammate.
Now, did Pat put him with you immediately?
Yes, he did. And put Glenn Anderson with me as well, and sometimes Nicky Borshevsky. Obviously, going in the playoffs, we put Dave and Nicky together in the first round. In the second round, that changed, and then Andy came back in on the line. So Pat he worked the bench very well. And you look back, and I guess we all stayed on sometimes a little bit longer than we're supposed to, but I guess that's the way it was in those days. And now there's no way you could last that long. So, but it was just memories, and I'll never forget them.
All right, Dave Andrechuk now a part of the Leaf team after a trade with Buffalo, and Toronto enjoying a resurgence. Behind the bench, Pat Burns calling the shots. And so we're taking Doug Gilmore back to February 13th, 1993. The Minnesota North Stars are in town. You're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
Good evening, everybody. Chris Cuthbert and Harry Neal in the broadcast booth at Maple Leaf Gardens, ready for an in-your-face Norris Division matchup between Minnesota and Toronto. There's the referee for tonight's game, Dan Marawelli. Scott Driscoll and Dan McCourt are on the lines. Darcy Wakaluk was the story of the last meeting between these two teams. 28 stops on January 26th in a 2-1 win, and he's coming off a shutout against Tampa Bay. And for the Leafs, Felix Potvin owns the best goals against and save percentage in the entire league as he strengthens his case for Calder Trophy consideration. Fourth meeting between these two teams, and the North Stars have won the first three. First of a home-and-home series were underway. Zezel, Osborne, and Berg start up front for the Maple Leafs. Mike Modano on the ice with Mike Craig, and they've got Ulf Dahlin on the left wing of this starting line for the North Stars. Tenorti was hit hard there by Peter Zezel. And Harry, Tenorti was the focus of attention throughout that game on January 26th.
He'll be the focus of attention tonight, too. A horse of a player to play more than half the game.
Lefebvre taking Dahlin to the boards. Dahlin with his skate on the puck, kicks it free for Mike Craig, the former Oshawa General. Back to Jimmy Johnson. There's Modano centering it. Zezel there for the Leafs. Zezel got a good bounce, got the puck ahead to Berg, and now the first penalty of the game.
Mike Craig's going to get a 2-minute penalty for hooking as he hauled Zezel down from behind as Zezel was moving with the puck out of his own zone. Oh, my mistake. They gave it to Jamie McCowan. I thought I saw Craig pull Zezel down. Now there's McCowan interfering, and at the same time, he's trying to hook Zezel. Tenorti will be on the right end of a lot of hits tonight, and he's on the wrong end of one here by Peter Zezel. McCowan, 2 minutes for hooking. The North Stars get a chance on the power play. Early in this game, they're 14th in the National League with 57 power play goals, and the Leafs are 12th in the penalty killing department.
Interesting, Harry, they're 12th percentage-wise, and yet they have allowed the fewest goals
They've also been one of the very fewest shorthanded situations called against them. So that power play stat of percentage can and is often a little misleading. I think if you're going to evaluate the power play, you better look at the shorthanded situations too. Pat Burns is looking for win number 200 in his 4.5-year NHL head coaching career. Obviously, many of these wins came with Montreal, but more than expected have come with the Leafs this year.
Pat has his game face on as usual. He says, more so than usual, it's very important the first goal of the hockey game, and the North Stars with a nice chance here in the opening minute on the power play. Tinordi mans 1 point. There's the shot through traffic, hit a leg. Gilmore grabbed by Gagne. Gilmore goes down, lost the helmet, but stays with the puck. Now it's Bob Rouse. Proud father for the second time. Can't clear the zone. Courtnall, Chaudin, shot just went wide. Osborne after it, but Tinordi pinched in. Hit by Gilmore. Courtnall to Gagne. That shot goes off the mark, and Felix hops on it and holds on.
Well, the Leafs have started this game with a lot of physical emotion. Tinordi has taken 2 big hits, one from Zezel and one from Gilmore. And this skirmish occurs after Felix Potvin held the puck to give his penalty killers a break. 1:19 left in the penalty for McCowan. The Minnesota North Stars becoming quite healthy with the return of Hatcher. Here are the 6 defensemen that they are dressing tonight. Tommy Sogin plays mostly in the power play, and the 4 lines that Coach Bob Gainey will begin with. Well balanced. All of them can score. All of them trustworthy defensively. Smith injured, Matchevik and Sakona. Gilmore and Tinordi, their animosity started long before tonight. And the little Gilmore takes a jump at the big Tinordi. Bob Gainey, one of the keys to success against the Leafs, he says, is shutting Gilmore down. Gilmore in 3 games against the North Stars has but 1 assist. And that is not a coincidence regarding the fact the North Stars have not lost to the Leafs this year in the 3 games they've played. They play 4 more times, counting tonight, and as early as tomorrow night in Minnesota.
1:19 left in the minor penalty. And Zezel won the draw and gets control and sends it down the ice wide of goaltender Darcy Wakaluk. Tommy Chaudin, a power play specialist for the North Stars, feeds ahead, and it's offside as Mike Craig was tangled up with Bob Rouse, and play whistled down.
Well, this is the main man offensively for the Minnesota North Stars, Mike Modano. 282 points, and this is 290th NHL game. 27 of those points coming in the last 16 games. He leads the team in assists and points. 43 assists, 66 points. Great speed, great shot. I guess the only complaint anybody might have about him is the odd time the intensity isn't there. Fairly common characteristic of young players in the National League.
It's exactly what Bob Gainey was saying earlier today, and he seems to be bringing more intensity to the rink on a consistent level. Since last February, Modano's been a better hockey player. And he'll keep getting better. Here's Krushelnyski on the penalty kill for the Leafs, along with Dave McAway, who had a shorthanded goal and a big one Thursday night in the Maple Leafs victory over the Vancouver Canucks. Dolan, he has 12 power play goals, comes in front off the skate of Lefebvre, and the Leafs are able to clear. There's the speedy McAway. Chaudin getting back for the North Stars. McAway behind the net, 23 seconds left in the McCowan penalty. It comes loose to Gilmore. And there's Tinordi on him.
Tinordi has not been off the ice yet. We are well into the 3rd minute of play.
Gilmore forechecking, and he bumped into Tinordi behind the flag, and they will go at it all night. Modano, drop pass. Chaudin as the Leafs return to full strength. Here's a chance. Dolan whipped it wide. At the point, Craig Ludwig on deflection, and Potvin got a piece of that. Leafs cleared around the boards and a race for it. McCowan after it, but Ludwig beats him to it. Race between 2 defensemen there, and not the 2 fastest players on the ice. Here's Ellen feeding it over the line to McPhee. former Montreal Canadian. Ellett off the boards, cut off by Trent Klatt. Ellett tries the other side, and there's Dave Andrechuk. Break wide to Anderson. Glenn Anderson. Bad angle shot, and he's taken to the boards. Andrechuk in to get it. Anderson in the corner. Here's Gilmore in the slot. Gilmore! Wakaluk down, made the stop. Great chance there for Doug Gilmore. So Wakaluk is sharp on his first test of the night. Gilmore feeds cross ice to Anderson. A little extra time shooting practice this morning for number 9. Can't get the shot away there. Back from the North Stars. Broughton to Hatcher. Right side, too far for Klatt. Hatcher's in front, and a nice defensive play by Dmitry Mironov. Mironov starts back for Toronto. Doug Gilmore hits the line. Here's Foligno.
Well, one of the 5 Mike wires one past Darcy Wakaluk. I don't know whether I've seen Mike Foligno shoot the puck any harder than this. He pours down the right wing, and at a fairly bad angle, drops one from just inside the top of the circle on the short side and on the glove side of Darcy Wakaluk. Wakaluk really should have had that shot, but give Foligno credit. He put it up in the crook of the arm and beat Darcy Wakaluk to give the Leafs a lead, and a lead against the North Stars is a vital thing. It forces them out of that defensive hockey that they play so well.
So the Leafs open the scoring. Foligno's 10th from Gilmore and Mironov at 4:19. Broughton behind the net. Knocked down. McElwain checks him. And Foligno clears it outside the line. Ahead for Cullen. Here's a break for Cowan. And Wakaluk got a piece of that. John Cullen back into McCowan. Shot and a glove save by Darcy Wakaluk. So the Leafs have some jump in the opening 5 minutes, and they have the lead. Welcome back to Maple Leaf Gardens. Face off to the right of Darcy Wakaluk, who's unbeaten in his last 6 games. North Stars have won 4 straight on the road and lead the NHL in road wins with 16.
And they and Washington are the only 2 teams in the National League with more road victories than home victories.
Cleared back in. Potvin loves it, and with North Stars all around, he elects to hang on to the puck.
Boy, a big-time collision. About 432 pounds of bones and skin and equipment come together on this hit. It was a hard hit delivered, and it was well taken, as you see both of them stagger to recover their balance. The Bomber was the 3rd star Thursday night, and it wasn't for any of his stick-handling feats.
Bob Gainey says Tenorti is in a class with about 5 defensemen in the NHL, being a real dominant, rugged player with great offensive skills. I guess you'd put a Scott Stevens in that class. Kevin Hatcher, and of course Hatcher's younger brother is Tenorti's defensive mate. Here's Krushelnyski into the zone against Darian Hatcher. Just joined the North Stars this afternoon after a couple of games in Kalamazoo, rehabbing off a sprained knee. Baumgartner against the boards, let it go. Gill almost got trapped, but Borshevsky came back. Dave Ellett steps over the red line and flips it in. Doesn't seem like Tenorti's been off the ice yet. Pass ahead to Shane Churla. Ellett, this is the 4th line for the North Stars. Todd Ellett. His shot goes behind Felix Potvin and around the boards out to center. Petro defenseman Jim Johnson. And Dolan clears it in. 3 minutes, 27 seconds. That's the time already for Tenorti. And the opening 6 minutes, 15 seconds of this game.
Well, he's a 32 to 35-minute defenseman on a regular basis in the National League, and that is a real bonus for Coach Gainey.
Wakaluk out of the net, hands it to Zessel, feeds it to the crease. And a dangerous play there by Wakaluk. Zessel causing havoc again. DeBerg to Osborne. Pulled it in front, kicked away by Wakaluk. Now for the North Stars. Modano hits the line. Mike Modano tried to feed it through, broken up by Bill Berg. Now the North Stars change. Lefebvre. Lead pass for Berg at center ice. He clears it in, and the Leafs will now make a change. Here's Tenorti. On the left wing, Dave Gagne's shot deflects high and over the glass, out of play.
Well, it's always a big night when a local boy returns to Maple Leaf Gardens as a National Hockey League player. The fellow there in the glasses is Todd Ellick's father, Willie, and on the right in the raincoat is his uncle, Mike. Mike, a former Marlborough, St. Mike's and University of Toronto star, two proud guys of young Todd Ellick, who took a Russ Courtnall shot in the forehead 2 weeks ago for 48 stitches. Cherry must love this guy, Ellick. He didn't even put a visor on, at least for the first month back. I don't know what Todd's mother thinks of that decision.
Boy, what a frightening incident. 48 stitches, a concussion, whiplash. Todd had a serious accident as a child, a car accident that resulted in a scar on his face. I asked him how many stitches he has. He says 300 to 400 on his face, and still no visor. Here's Gagne. Over the line, right side, Platt moving in. Potvin went down, rebound, they score! Mike McPhee!
Well, what a spectacular stop Potvin made on the original rush, and Mike McPhee in a crowd just bats the puck, maybe even on the short hop, into the net. Gagne takes it away from Gilmore to start the rush. You can see the 3-on-2. Gilmore fights hard to get back, to half take it away. Platt nearly scores, and then Bob Rouse doesn't tie up McPhee, and McPhee bats a bouncing puck into the net to tie the game.
Well, it is the night for the Mikes. Mike Foligno with his 10th goal. Now Mike McPhee with number 10, and we're tied at 1. 7:40. Gagne and Platt get the assist. Lead pass from Mike Craig. Rolling it in. Todd Gill back off the boards, and there's Peter Zezel. Lead pass for Osborne, checked by Hatcher. Zezel follows up. Left wing pass broken up by Craig. Osborne battles Dahlin. And Zezel gives chase back in the zone. Craig Ludwig for the North Stars. He's bumped by Zezel. They fight for it. It's underneath Zezel. Still loose. And Modano comes up with it. Here comes Mike Modano with 66 points on the year. Leaves it for Dahlin with room. Right on rebound. And the Leafs are able to get it. John Cullen will skate to center. Good stop there by Potvin. Cullen's shot goes wide. And the puck cleared over the glass, out of play. 11:17 left first period.
Dave Anichuk, 31 goals, his 8th year as a 30-goal or more scorer. 20 power play goals, second in the National League to Brett Hall, who has 21.
Harry, how long did you find it took a player to really make the full adjustment to a new team?
5-10 games. One of Dave Anichuk's problems is that he's not going to move here. He's going to commute.
Here's Courtnall.
And that's a lot of nights away from home. It might make the adjustment a little longer.
Says he's staying in a hotel here in Toronto and already starting to get cabin fever. So he may look for a place after all. Foligno into the zone, gives chase. There's Cullen digging it free, and the feed back to the point, splits the defense and slides down the ice. Sylvain Lefebvre, slowly out of his own zone, deflected by Foligno. Still could be icing. Tenorti gets there first, beats Cullen, icing the call against the Leafs.
Well, let's look around the National Hockey League. 2 games in the afternoon, and we have 2 more to report on tonight, or 3 more. Nothing in Calgary. The Hartford Whalers. Kudelski has put Ottawa ahead 1-0. St. Louis and Detroit just starting 0-0. It's a big game for the Leafs, and Steve Thomas with his 23rd have given the Islanders a range over the Rangers this afternoon, 6-4 Jersey and 4-1 Pittsburgh. And the Islanders in games against the Rangers in Long Island are 10-0-3 in the last 13.
And New Jersey winning today, so that Patrick division race is very tight, and that Islander-Ranger game's a big one tonight. Rangers won the President's Trophy last year, but they are scratching and clawing right now.
Two things are gone. The Rangers' chance to win the President's Trophy, and the President's out of here, too. The Rangers are going to be lucky to make the playoffs.
Baumgartner bumped by Churla. Johnson behind the goal. Mironov keeps it in. And now Todd Ellick feeds across to Big Hatcher, 6'5", 205 pounds, 20 years of age. Mironov, Borshevsky, Krushelnyski at center. Reaches for it, can't get it. And now the North Stars come back with Ellick hitting the line, along with former Leaf Stu Gavin. Ellick circles, fakes the shot, had Tenorti loose. Now Ellick shoots right on. Rouse ahead to Krushelnyski. Missed a hit from Churla, and Gagne sends it back in. Well, the Rouse family celebrating the arrival of Callie Rouse on Thursday night. Bob missed the game. Glad to report everybody's doing fine. And nice addition to the Rouse family, 8 pounds, 10 ounces.
Bob Rouse was a former captain of this Minnesota North Star team early in his career.
Here's Anderson feeding to Gilmore. 2-on-1. Gilmore works in, tripped up by Tenorti. And a penalty coming up against the North Stars. Yet a squandered chance for the Leafs.
Tenorti chopped Gilmore and got him on the hand. Gilmore's in a little pain. Tenorti's going to get the penalty. Gilmore's got a sore hand. He's complaining a little bit to the linesman here. Tenorti and Gilmore, bitter enemies from the past games. He cuts across in front, and there's the slash. Well, that's the kind that can break your wrist.
Mark Tenorti for slashing.
But Gilmore, pretty tough customer. I'm not going to get him out of there. Mark Tenorti is a horse of a player. He only goes to the bench to get a refill of oats and a little drink of water. And Hatcher's going to be the same, so they're going to have two big defensemen. Maybe not this year for Hatcher, but quickly, the next year or the following year, who can play more than half the game like Smith and Chelios do. Then you can spot your other 4 defensemen. The North Stars are really only playing 5 defensemen in the 5-on-5 situations, as Tommy Chodin only plays the power play, or he'll play later in a game if they get behind.
Of course, Bob Gainey played on a team that at times really only needed 3 defensemen.
What a 3 those guys were. Savard, Robinson, and Lapointe. Even Cherry didn't like those guys.
Elliott. Shot deflected off a skate just wide. Gilmore, Andreychuk, Cullen, Elliott, and Gill. And a nice play by Todd Gill to keep it in. Elliott shot kicked aside by Wakala. Andreychuk in the corner. There's Elliott. Gill, shot, blocked by Ludwig and cleared by the North Stars.
One thing Johnson and Ludwig do well when they kill penalties is they block a lot of shots. A lot more than most of penalty-killing defense pair do.
Ludwig's got those big shin pads or old catalogs in there to help block the shots. And Ludwig ahead to McPhee, and McPhee just got it outside the line. Best penalty-killing unit in the National Hockey League, and that should be no surprise with Bob Gainey and Doug Jarvis behind the bench for the North Stars.
84.8% success rate. They've allowed only 49 power play goals against.
Here's Elliott at the point. Half-minute left in this power play. Chances! Big stop, Wakaluk off Doug Gilmore. Oh, that was a beauty as the Leafs almost score on the power play.
Well, the Maple Leafs have gotten a goal from Mike Foligno. Mike McPhee has scored for the Minnesota North Stars. The game is tied 1-1, and Foligno's 10th from Gilmore and Dmitry Mironov opened the scoring. Before you got to know him, I got stuck on a bus with him for 4 years in Sudbury, as he was an integral part of some pretty good junior teams in Sudbury. But Mike Foligno, I was convinced, was an insomniac. Because not only would he not sleep, he didn't want anyone else to sleep on that bus. Now, when he arrives in Toronto, it's at the tail end of his career, but I didn't notice that he had changed at all.
No, he hadn't changed at all. He was the life of the party. in the dressing room. Great character guy. You talk about people that are vocal in the dressing room and you respect and you listen to. Mike's one of those guys, and again, it was a pleasure playing with him, and he brought a lot to our hockey club and character, and especially that bad helmet.
Yeah, the salad bowl.
The salad
Wasn't
bowl.
that an awful piece of work? That should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
I used to wear that in minor
Did you?
hockey.
Did you?
Yes.
Yes. Oh well, it's a good thing you changed. He also instilled something about the jersey.
We were playing one night at home, and the trainers bring in a bin after the game, so our sweaters are all going to get washed, and somebody threw their sweater and missed the bin. It was on the floor, and Mike did not appreciate that, and it was a good lesson for everybody because he spoke up right away, never let that jersey hit the floor, and nobody ever did afterwards.
Cliff Fletcher felt that he was the emotion of the hockey team, and later on this year in the playoffs, that emotion comes out. You see that, and he was the type of guy that really would get emotional in the room and emotional on the ice.
He really would, and you know, you're playing against the guy for a long time, and then you know you always hate it when he scores because he's going to do that jump. But
I don't know where that's.
I don't know. But when, as a teammate, again, you reflect back and you have memories of people, and Mike was a great leader of this hockey club, and obviously a big part of the '93 playoff run in the whole year. So I don't know what age he was at that time, probably 32, 33, and everybody thought he was over the hill.
Yeah, well, and now he's back in Sudbury as a manager and a coach, and I've often thought that he's going to make an excellent coach and probably will be in this league sometime.
Well, for sure he will. You talk about communication. He's the one guy that can communicate really well, and big part of hockey now is communicating with the players. You know, it's changed from years ago where you could play games, but now, you know, whether the guys are younger or not, you want to keep that confidence level up all the time, and Mike's one of those guys that can help them.
Positive thinker, that's for sure. Mike Foligno has given the Leafs the lead. Doug Gilmour draws an assist. Mike McPhee has tied the game for Minnesota. Let's go back upstairs now to Chris Cuthbert.
26 seconds remaining in the Tenorti minor. Krushelnyski on the face-off. Won by the Leafs. McCowan drills it wide. Neil Broughton backhands it, kept in by McCowan. Mironov can't handle the pass, and it's chopped away by Craig Ludwig. Gaetan Duchesne racing after it against McCowan. Draped against the boards. Stays with it, though, and will kill the remaining seconds of this Leaf man advantage.
The North Stars have shut their opponents out 26 games on the power play, and they're 14-8-4 in those 26.
Minnesota back at full strength. Anderson clears it in for the Leafs. Krushelnyski in the corner. Hit the side of the net. Now cleared around the boards and out to center. 6 minutes, 36 seconds to go. First period, a 1-1 tie. Foligno and McPhee, the goal scorers, on Mike Night at Maple Leaf Gardens. Off the glass, Krushelnyski has it. Modano there. And Jimmy Johnson now skates out for the North Stars. Right wing to Craig. Rouse up to Zezel, now on the ice with Berg. And on the right side, there's Mark Osborne. Osborne's shot blocked by Tenorti. Craig off the glass. Strange clearance. Here's a chance, Berg. And Walk-a-luck again. He's been red hot of late and has been hot so far tonight.
Well, Walk-a-luck got up quickly to face the second shot. And of course, anytime there's any trouble around the net, we have this going on tonight. I think Bill Berg tried to pull the puck loose from Walk-a-luck, who had it trapped in his chest. And this is what caused the North Star reaction.
With the Hockey Night in Canada update from the Ottawa Civic Center, here's Rod.
Right, Chris, if we could talk about Albertans, for Albertans, they're actually watching the Calgary game, but you see Pincher Creek star Walk-a-luck, Mark Tenorti from Red Deer, and here's Kevin Haller from Trochu, Alberta, scoring his 10th goal of the year. The Montreal Canadiens have drawn even with Ottawa at 1 in the first.
Well, the Minnesota North Stars road record, as Ron mentioned in the opening, the best in the National League. They're undefeated in the last 6. A weird bounce off the boards gives the Leafs a fairly decent power play chance. There's the stop. Now look how quickly Walk-a-luck is up again to take it away from Berg, and then Berg tries to pull it out of Walk-a-luck, and that caused the problem.
You know, Now, Harry, I saw Darcy Wakaluk the second week of the year play against Montreal. He was shelled 8-1. In his first start, he gave up 6 goals in a loss against St. Louis. He's really put it together.
Well, the North Stars' system of play is dominated by defensive decisions. It's a lot nicer to play goal for them than some of the other teams in the league, as it is for the Leafs.
Here's Gill at the point, right on, and Wakaluk will hang on and force a face-off in the Minnesota zone.
Both these teams on the average allow 29 shots on goal against. And anytime you're under 34 or 35 on the average, your goals against record will probably reflect it. And talk about reflection. Look at the reflection off that thing. I borrowed that from Mr. Cherry.
Pat Burns' team second in the NHL defensively, and the North Stars, under Bob Gainey, who knows a little bit about defensive hockey, ranked 4th.
And in the playoffs, if the Leafs can get there, we know the North Stars are going to make it barring a disaster. All teams bear down defensively, but it's a little easier if you've worked hard all year at it.
Ned almost got knocked over onto Wakaluk there, but play continues. Some fencing behind the play, though. Foligno was involved. Now Potvin off the glass. Klatt moving up. He was instrumental on the North Star goal, and it deflects over the glass out of play. 5:03 left, first period at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The water bottle was shot away from Darcy Wakaluk, nearly out to the blue line. And the water bottle fell off, as you mentioned, Chris, when the net got half dislodged. Right here, as Foligno is throwing Johnson into the back of the net. The Minnesota defensemen quite talented without the puck in their own zone in the defensive zone coverage situations.
Todd Gill for the Leafs. Hammers it in. McIlwain on the far side. Just missed a big hit from Tinordi. Ellett. Wide of the goal. McIlwain after. Put it in front, and Tinordi knocked him flat.
Now the Leafs are going to get another power play. McIlwain was tripped as he was heading to pick up a loose puck in front of the net. And it could be Darcy Wakaluk that gets the tripping penalty. McIlwain is trying to beat Tinordi to the puck as it's coming around behind the net. And there is the trip.
Minnesota penalty, number 35, Darcy Wakaluk, 2 minutes for tripping. Time 15:50.
A player who is on the ice has to serve the 2 minutes, and Bob Gainey has selected Dave Gagne.
Leafs get another chance on the power play, and this looks like a football play here as the North Stars just huddled up around Broughton. Wakaluk for tripping at 15:15.
The Leafs 3 for 18 in the last 5 games, plus the earlier power play they've had tonight, and that's dried up on them a little bit.
Duchesne with the shot in on Potvin, who clears it up to head to Andreychuk. Andreychuk waits and now passes cross ice for Gill. Broughton on him, and the North Stars clear it back out. Now Mironov comes over the boards, who'll spell Gill on this power play alignment. Ellett shoots it in up front. Cullen, Gilmore, and Andreychuk. Ellett ties it up along the boards. There's Gilmore, nice feed.
Well, John Cullen scores his first goal in 12 games and 16 minutes on a lovely little play where the North Star penalty killers were all caught out deep. See the 3 of them up beyond the top of the circle. And that allows Cullen to walk out, avoid the poke check, and slip it underneath Wakaluk. There's Cullen walking out, avoids the poke check, and then has Wakaluk at his mercy. And John Cullen scores a nifty power play goal to give the Leafs a 2-1 lead.
Number 15 on the year, 9 of Cullen's 10 goals with the Leafs have come on the power play. So the Leafs lead 2-1, 3:54 to go here in the first period at Maple Leaf Gardens.
All penalties are tough to kill off, but these kind, neutral ice trips with no danger as far as Craig getting the puck or getting into a scoring position are always a little tougher to kill.
Osborne's penalty coming 8 seconds after John Cullen's power play goal, his 15th of the year, from Gilmore and Andrechuk and Shane Churla. And Sylvain Lefebvre jumped the gun there.
Churla, who is anything but a power play specialist, is headed to the front of the net. Lefebvre was trying to stop him from getting there. Two strong boys fighting for land.
Well, watch that matchup. They may be headed for the penalty box if they rerun that play. Goes right over at them, and the North Stars control. Tenorti to Chaudin. He flips it through, deflected wide by Modano, who has it in the corner. Out in front, Hotman down, got a piece of that. And the Leafs are able to clear.
A heads-up attempt by Ulf Dolan, who leads the North Stars in power play goals with 12. And Potvin was sharp to stop a goal-mouth pass from Modano to Dolan.
Modano, cross ice, Tenorti. Check, McIlwain over, and here's a chance as Krushelnyski breaks. Chaudin comes across, loses his helmet. Krushelnyski still with it, tried to jam it in, and Wakaluk got a piece of it. Back comes Russ Cornwell. He hasn't scored in 8 games. Chaudin at the point. Tenorti. Chaudin. Shot deflects wide. Cornwell in the corner. Takes his time. Chaudin was creeping in, broken up by Mike Krushelnyski, who rolls it down as the Leaf change penalty killers with 44 seconds to go in the minor to Osborne. Gagne gets a return pass from Dolan, and now Ellett clears it to center. Barry hops onto the ice. Bill Berg ran Dolan into the boards. Gagne, and it's offside, and Craig is trying to get at either Gilmore or Rouse.
Well, he was trying to get at Gilmore, and Rouse jumped in as Gilmore wrapped Craig pretty nicely. The North Stars paid 2 first-round draft picks to San Jose to keep Craig. And here on the last power play by the North Stars, the good chance they got, watch Churla. His job is to go to the net and cause a problem. And he's doing just that. And he's going to get a good chance here as Modano fires it through the crease, and Lefebvre makes a nice play to tie him up.
20 seconds left in the penalty to Osborne. 2:14 to go in the first period. Cecil wins the draw, and Rouse sends it down. Wakaluk around the boards, cut off by Peter Cecil. Checked by Dolan. Now the North Stars come out. Ellett with a hit on Craig. Inside the line, and the Leafs clear it back out, and hopping into the play is Osborne. He bumped into Craig and steals the puck. Cecil, Osborne, shot right on. Wakaluk will hang on, and another pile up in the North Star crease as the Leafs are driving at that net.
It's an NHL record. Most guys in the crease. It's the reason they made it bigger, so more guys could get in it. And here we see every player except the Leaf goalie and the 2 defensemen, McCowan and Ellett, somewhere in that shaded blue area as the Leafs. Peter Cecil started it all off by going to the net after dropping the pass to Osborne. Not a tough stop for Wakaluk, but it was a good idea not to give any rebounds because Cecil was heading for Peter.
Yeah, I think they just beat that old phone booth record.
And here's the rush. Now watch Cecil drop the puck. Now he's headed to the net between the 2 defensemen. And it's kind of being juggled in there by Wakaluk, and then there must be a couple of bucks on the ice there with all these guys heading into it. Now here's why I know it was a record. Count them. 2, 4, 6. Look at this, all in there. What are they giving away? There they are. There are 9 of the 12 players on the ice in the goal crease.
And Dan Maruelli has not called any piling on penalties.
Time 18:60.
There's the penalty call after that pile up in front of Darcy Wakaluk, and that's what we meant, Harry, by in-your-face hockey tonight.
Well, 4 skaters aside, there's 1:44 left in the first period.
And right off the face-off, the shot deflected over the glass. Out of play as Gilmore won the draw back to Andrechuk.
Darcy Wakaluk has given up 14 goals now in his last 16 periods, and he's kind of, for the time being, taken the #1 job away from John Casey.
Andrechuk fighting for that loose puck, but it comes to Modano. This is a situation where the North Stars were looking forward to putting Modano and Courtnall on the ice a lot. In this situation, though, they've got Dave Gagne, another fine skater on the ice 4-on-4, and the Leafs called for icing.
I think Courtnall's only played 2 shifts, Chris. I don't know whether he's sick or in Mr. Gagne's doghouse. He leads the team in goals, but he has, as you've mentioned, been in a bit of a slump lately. So Russ Courtnall, the former Leaf, has 10 points, 5 of them goals in his last 13 games, and leads the team with 24 goals. And against the Leafs this year, he has, in the 3 games he's played, 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points.
There is his career high, so he's just 5 off that, just 2/3 of the way through the season. So he's had a good year. He's plus 16. But so far, we haven't seen much from Russ Courtnall tonight. Just the guys named Mike seem to be getting the ice time. There's a shot right on Potvin, and he makes the stop on a weak shot from Darian Hatcher from the point.
Peter Zezel complaining to the linesman Driscoll that the puck was not dropped fairly. Modano won the draw very easily, and usually Zezel is tough on the face-off. Now Wade, he's saying not only did he bounce it, but he dropped it on the North Star end of that circle. The referees has to try to drop that in the middle and has to try to have the puck lay flat when he drops it. Easier said than done.
Well, they didn't like the way Zezel handled that face-off attempt, so he's waved out. Gilmore in. North Stars with the puck. Centered, and Lefebvre is there. He hands off to Gilmore. Zezel heads to the bench. Gilmore, poke check by Hatcher. And Dolan turns back. Andrechuk now out there with Gilmore to the Leafs. Under a minute to go, first period, 2-1 Toronto. Doug Gilmore has a pair of assists already tonight. Now Lefebvre leads the rush to center and drives it in wide of Wakaluk. Big bounce off the backboards. Andrechuk takes Hatcher to the boards. Now tries to forecheck it free. It does come loose to Gilmore. Gilmore centered it. No Leaf there, and the North Stars come back. Here's the speedy Modano. In on Gill, who rides him into the boards. Gilmore turns back for the Leafs. Time for one last rush to Borshevsky. In, shot right on. Rebound! Wakaluk off McCowan. Jamie McCowan jumping into the play nicely. Borshevsky forechecking, and the North Stars will just run this one out.
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs were the better team that period. The scoreboard shows it, but we have 2 periods to go.